All right, welcome back, everyone. Today we are going to do a really deep dive into Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime performance.
Oh, nice.
And I'm really excited about this one because we've got this amazing YouTube video analysis that's our main source for this.
Yeah.
And it really goes beyond just like the performance itself. It gets into the cultural significance, some of the potential like hidden messages.
Yeah.
And even like that Kendrick versus Drake thing.
Always.
Right. So much to unpack here.
It's a lot.
Oh, yeah. So I guess maybe a good place to start would be like just visually, the stage setup for this performance was
Oh my gosh, yeah.
unlike anything I've ever seen.
It was so interesting. I mean, a giant PlayStation controller.
Right. A giant PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the thinking behind that?
It's like a statement, right? Like Kendrick's company, Gling, designed the entire set.
Wow.
It's like they're saying, we're in control here. This is our story. You see that control also in the song choices, too.
Oh, yeah. He definitely didn't just like, play all the hits. He chose a lot of newer material.
Yeah.
Which I feel like for a Super Bowl audience could have been kind of a risky move.
Yeah.
What do you think? He's trying to like challenge people's expectations?
Oh, absolutely. He wasn't playing it safe at all.
Yeah.
He was showing his growth, his evolution. And then, of course, to add to that whole thing, you've got Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam narrating the whole thing.
Oh, my gosh. That was genius.
I know.
I was laughing and thinking, like, at the same time.
Right.
So what do you make of that?
It's brilliant commentary. He's like commenting on Kendrick's gameplay. And then, that adds in a whole other layer of social satire. Like he's society's expectations and Kendrick is like, no. And then on top of that, you have another layer of symbolism with the dancer's clothing.
Yeah.
That red, white, and blue.
Oh.
Obviously a nod to the American flag.
Right.
But the video points out that it also ties into LA gang culture.
See, I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's really interesting.
Like he's acknowledging those complexities, but also, kind of promoting peace and unity within his own city.
Wow.
Like, a powerful message.
Very layered.
Yeah.
But okay, putting aside all the symbolism and the deeper meaning.
Yeah.
Like the man can just flat out rap.
Oh, yeah.
Running across that massive stage.
Yes.
Maintaining breath control like that. I mean.
Oh, he's incredible.
Some people might say it lacked melody or featured singer.
Yeah.
But you can't deny the skill and the athleticism it takes to do that.
Yeah. No. He's like showcasing the raw power of his lyrics.
Yeah.
Doing it on his own terms.
Totally.
And speaking of lyrics, there's a part in the performance during N95, which actually the video refers to as T.I. Masu.
Okay.
He adds some extra bars that seem to be aimed at Drake.
Ooh, here we go. This is where it gets juicy.
Right.
What do those lyrics say?
All right, so he raps, remember I said I was the greatest back when you debated the number one and number two? The topic was always hilarious to me. You carried him to me. I brought out a... And then, like, a gunshot sound.
Okay, I remember that part.
Yes, and it's not just the words, it's the context, right? Like, he's performing this while standing on top of a GNX.
Hold on. Why is that car significant?
Well, okay, so GNX is not just the name of his latest album. It's also the car his father drove him home in after he was born.
Oh, wow.
So he's like weaving his personal history into this diss.
Wow, that's really interesting. And, speaking of Drake, the video also really analyzes the performance of Euphoria.
Oh, yeah.
And they suggest that it feels like a victory lap, especially with his facial expressions and the way he kind of delivers the lines.
You can feel the confidence there.
Yeah.
It's like he's taunting his rivals.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And, it wasn't all just like these big, well-known tracks, right?
Right.
Like, the video actually mentions that Kendrick specifically wanted listeners to pay attention to Man of the Garden.
Yeah.
And he performed it a cappella.
Yes.
No beat behind it.
Yeah.
That's a bold move,
It is.
Why do you think he did that?
I think he wanted to strip away all the other stuff and just let those lyrics speak for themselves.
Right.
Like that message was really important to him.
Yeah. There's also this really interesting theory about Silent Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially containing references to XXXTentacion's death and Drake's potential involvement.
Right.
Wait, really? How does that tie in?
Okay, so the video highlights that connection to the Peekaboo performance and that it was staged on the X button of the PlayStation controller.
Right.
Like very layered, symbolic.
Yeah.
Adds another layer of intrigue, right?
Oh, yeah.
To that whole Kendrick-Drake dynamic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then just when you think things can't get any wilder, Kendrick throws in this little joke about playing like the audience's favorite song, but worrying about lawsuits.
Yeah.
And then, boom, SCA makes her entrance.
She's a huge star in her own right.
Right.
But, like, it's seamless how she integrates into that performance.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Doesn't feel like she's trying to steal the spotlight.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
So what did they perform?
Well, they performed All the Stars.
Okay.
Which, again, you know, the video is suggesting this could be another subtle message to Drake, highlighting Kendrick's success during the Damn era.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Uh-huh.
Kendrick is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
You got it.
Okay. So it gets even more strategic from here, right? Because the next song is Not Like Us.
Yes.
And he performs the entire first verse.
He does.
Hold up.
Yeah.
That's the song that's like at the center of a lawsuit.
You got it. Drake is suing Universal Music Group, claiming they prioritized profits over artists' well-being by allowing that song to be released and performed.
So just to be clear, Kendrick is performing a diss track directed at Drake at the Super Bowl, while Drake is suing the record label over that very same song.
You got it.
Wow.
And to make things even more kind of strange, the CEO of Universal Music Group was high-fiving Dr. Dre at the Grammys when Not Like Us won 5 awards.
Okay, now that's just some, like, irony right there. Like, and Drake's fans are saying this diss track is going too far.
Yeah.
Have they not heard Drake's music before?
It's a reminder that the industry thrives on these narratives.
Right.
Everyone involved is trying to control the story.
Yeah.
But with Not Like Us, I mean, Kendrick's breaking new ground.
Yeah.
Most awarded rap song at the Grammys.
Wow.
First diss track ever performed at the Super Bowl.
And a lawsuit.
And a lawsuit.
Wow. So, I mean, in a way, it's a win for Kendrick no matter what happens, right?
Yeah, you could definitely argue that.
Yeah. Okay. So to add even more drama to the situation, we got to remember who was in the audience.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Okay. I'm hooked. Tell me.
SCA and Serena Williams.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Both of Drake's ex-girlfriends.
2 of Drake's next girlfriends were there.
Were at the Super Bowl.
Watching the performance.
No way.
Yes.
You can't make this stuff up. Pure coincidence. Or was this, like, planned?
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But either way, it adds this extra layer of tension, spectacle.
Right.
And then to really drive that point home, Kendrick delivers this final blow, stares directly into the camera with this kind of rare smile and says, "Hey, Drake, I hear you like them young."
Oh, okay. That's cold.
It is.
But also kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
He's not holding back.
No, he's asserting his dominance, his confidence, and he's doing it on the biggest stage imaginable.
Right. And to top it all off, the performance ends with TV off and the words "game over" flashing on the screen.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a statement. He's not just playing the game. He's announcing that he's won.
It's storytelling.
Right.
At its finest.
Yeah.
He's taken us on a journey from his personal history to his current position at the top of the hip-hop world.
But it's more than just the music and the lyrics.
Oh, absolutely.
There are all these subtle details that add layers of meaning.
Yes.
Like his varsity jacket with Gloria on it.
Yeah.
What's the significance of that?
Well, it represents his pen name.
Oh, okay.
And some people think it might also be a reference to glory to God. You know, it ties into his unconventional approach to the whole performance.
Right. Then you have the chains worn by Kendrick and Mustard.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me more about the chains. What's going on there?
Okay, so the lowercase a on Kendrick's chain is also the Picklang logo.
Right.
And the M on Mustard's chain is, of course, his initial.
So you're saying that they could be subtly spelling out AM for A minor?
You got it.
I have to admit, when I first heard that theory, I was like,
it's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
But the more I think about it, the more it makes sense, you know?
Right. It wouldn't be out of character for Kendrick to be hiding those kinds of Easter eggs.
Absolutely not.
In his work.
Okay, so it just shows how much thought and detail went into this performance. Every element has a purpose, right?
I think so.
And speaking of discoveries, the video makes this really interesting point about the potential cultural impact of this performance.
Right.
They're saying it might spark, like, a whole new era of creativity and lyrical focus in hip-hop.
Wow, that's an interesting thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, Kendrick has set a new bar.
He has.
And are other artists going to follow his lead? Are we going to see more halftime shows that prioritize artistic vision over, like, commercial appeal?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what he did was really brave.
Yeah.
You know? He didn't compromise his vision just to please the casual viewer.
Yeah.
He stayed true to himself.
Yeah. And in doing so, I think he elevated the entire genre.
For sure. The video also emphasizes how different this performance was from, like, past Super Bowls.
Yeah.
A lot of past performers relied heavily on nostalgia.
Yeah.
Playing their most popular songs.
Right.
Trying to, like, appeal to as many people as possible.
The masses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a real contrast.
Absolutely.
It makes you rethink what a Super Bowl halftime show can be.
I agree.
And don't forget, the video makes this point that Kendrick is the first hip-hop artist to solo headline the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge moment.
It is.
It's even more impactful because he didn't shy away from the controversial material.
Absolutely.
Not like us, you know.
It's a powerful statement.
Yeah, he wasn't just there to entertain. He was there to make a statement.
Exactly.
About artistic integrity, cultural divides.
Yeah.
About his own influence. And it wasn't just a one-off statement, right? He wove this idea of the game throughout the entire performance.
You got it.
How do you see that theme playing out?
Well, it starts with the PlayStation controller stage, right?
Right.
And then you have Samuel L. Jackson's narration talking about Kendrick's, gameplay.
Yeah.
You see it in the dancer's clothing.
Right.
And even that game over message at the end.
Yeah.
Really clever how it ties together.
Like, he's telling a story on, like, multiple levels, you know? It's his personal journey, but it's also a commentary on the music industry.
Yes.
Where he fits in.
Yeah.
It's really smart.
It is.
You know what, though? I keep thinking about those chains.
Yeah.
Like, what's the deal with that?
Right.
Why the chains?
Well, okay, the lowercase a on Kendrick's chain.
Yeah.
P-Lang logo.
Right.
On Mustard's chain, his initial.
Right.
So they could be subtly spelling out AM for A minor.
I have to admit, when I first heard that theory, I thought it was a bit of a stretch. But the more I think about it, the more it makes sense.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
It's Kendrick.
It's Kendrick.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be out of character.
No, not at all.
Okay, so this just shows, like, the level of detail and thought that went into this performance.
Sure.
It's pretty incredible.
It is.
But wait.
Yeah.
There's one more thing we got to talk about.
What's that?
The set list was actually leaked.
Oh, yeah.
Before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
So, and the reason DJ Akademiks gave for leaking it was even more surprising.
Oh, I know.
He thought the set list was bad.
He did.
Seriously, a set list with songs like Not Like Us, Euphoria, Bad.
I know.
I don't get it.
Yeah, he said he wanted Kendrick to change it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It just goes to show, like, how subjective taste can be.
It really is.
Even within the industry.
Absolutely.
What Akademiks saw as weak, a lot of people saw as groundbreaking.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, this performance wasn't just a concert. It was a cultural moment.
It was. It really was.
It really pushed the boundaries of what a Super Bowl halftime show could be.
It challenged expectations.
Yeah.
And it's got everyone talking about what it means for the future of hip-hop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about the symbolism, the music, the rivalry, the cultural impact. But, like, this performance also raises some bigger questions.
It does.
About the future of hip-hop.
Yeah.
Like, what does this mean for the genre?
Right.
Where do we go from here?
Big questions.
Big questions. Do you think we'll see more artists embracing, like, this kind of raw lyricism and artistic expression?
Yeah.
Or will the industry try to push them back into, like, that safe commercial box?
Yeah. It's hard to say, but I think Kendrick opened a door.
Yeah.
And it's up to the next generation of artists to walk through.
You showed that you can achieve mainstream success without sacrificing your artistic integrity. Absolutely.
It's pretty inspiring.
It is.
And it reminds us that hip-hop has always been about pushing boundaries, challenging the status quo.
Right.
Like, from its roots in the streets to its current status as, like, a global phenomenon.
Yeah.
It's never been afraid to evolve and experiment.
You're absolutely right. Reinventing itself.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
The video also mentions how this performance might actually help to change some of the misconceptions that people have about hip-hop.
Yeah. I mean, hip-hop is often misunderstood and misrepresented in the media.
Absolutely.
But by showcasing its depth and complexity on a stage like the Super Bowl.
Right.
I mean, Kendrick's helping to change the narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully it resonates with people who might not be familiar with this side of hip-hop.
I think it will.
Music has the power to, like, transcend boundaries.
It does.
Yeah. Connect people from all walks of life.
I agree. It's funny. We were talking earlier about how DJ Akademiks thought the set list was bad.
I know.
It just goes to show that even within the industry, there's so many different perspectives.
I know.
On what makes good hip-hop.
That is so true.
It's
all subjective.
It's all subjective.
Yeah.
But I think we can all agree that Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime performance was a game changer.
Oh, absolutely. A moment that will be remembered and debated for years to come.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's left us with so much to think about.
Yeah.
What does this mean for the future of hip-hop?
Yeah.
What does it say about the power of artistic expression?
Right.
And how will it influence the next generation of artists?
Those are all great questions to ponder.
Yeah. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
If Kendrick can use the Super Bowl stage to deliver a message about cultural divides and artistic integrity, what other boundaries can be broken?
Right.
What other narratives can be challenged? And what will you do to push the boundaries of your own creativity?
That's an excellent question
to
consider.
So this has been an incredible journey, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for hip-hop and, like, for all of us.
I'm with you.
Who are inspired by its power.
Yeah.
So until next time, keep diving deep.
Yes.
And keep challenging the status quo.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really makes you wonder, like, what impact will this performance have on other artists?
Right. Like, is this the start of a new era? Are we going to see more Super Bowl halftime shows that are like this, with artists really expressing themselves, taking risks?
Right.
Or will it go back to just playing the hits?
I think what Kendrick did was incredibly brave.
Yeah.
He didn't compromise his vision just to please, like, the casual viewers.
Yeah.
He stayed true to himself.
Yeah.
And in doing so, I think he elevated the entire genre.
He really did. And the video really emphasizes how different this performance was from past Super Bowls, Like, a lot of past performers, they relied really heavily on nostalgia, playing their most popular songs, trying to appeal to, like, as many people as possible.
Right. And to the masses.
So this was a real contrast.
It was. It really makes you rethink what a Super Bowl halftime show can be.
Totally. It's like Kendrick is saying, this is hip-hop, this is art, and it deserves to be on this stage, raw and real.
I agree. Yeah, I think that's a great point.
And don't forget, Kendrick is the first hip-hop artist to solo headline a Super Bowl halftime show.
That's right, yeah.
Like, that's a huge moment, and it's even more impactful because he didn't shy away from controversial material like Not Like Us.
Right. Yeah, he wasn't just there to entertain. He used his platform to make a statement.
Right, about artistic integrity, about cultural divides.
Yeah.
About his own influence, And it wasn't just a one-off statement either.
No.
He wove this idea of the game throughout the entire performance.
You got it.
I mean, it's everywhere, right?
Uh-huh.
So how do you see that theme playing out?
Well, it starts with the PlayStation controller stage.
Right.
And then you have Samuel L. Jackson narrating, talking about Kendrick's gameplay.
Yeah.
Right. You see it in the dancer's clothing.
Yeah.
And even that game over message at the end.
Right.
It's really clever how it all ties together.
Yeah, it's like he's telling a story, but on, like, multiple levels, It's his personal journey, but it's also a commentary on the music industry.
Yes.
And where he fits in.
Totally.
It's really smart.
Yeah, it is.
But you know what, though? I keep thinking about those chains.
Oh, yeah, the chains, yeah.
Like, what is the deal with that?
You noticed that, too.
Yeah.
All right, so the lowercase a,
Kendrick's
chain, P.E. Blang logo.
Right.
On Mustard's chain, his initial.
Right.
So they could be subtly spelling out AM for A minor.
I have to admit, when I first heard that theory, I was like, okay, that's a bit of a stretch.
Right.
But the more I think about it,
it
really kind of makes sense. Like, it wouldn't be out of character.
No, not at all.
For Kendrick to hide those kinds of Easter eggs in his work.
Right, it's Kendrick we're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it just shows how much thought and detail went into this performance.
It does, for sure.
It's pretty incredible. Speaking of discoveries. The video makes a really interesting point about the potential cultural impact of this performance.
Yeah.
They're saying that it might spark, like, a whole new era of creativity and lyrical focus in hip-hop.
Wow. Yeah, that's a very interesting idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, Kendrick has set a new bar.
He has.
Will other artists try to follow his lead? Will we see more halftime shows that prioritize artistic vision over commercial appeal?
Yeah, that's a great point.
You know?
It'll be fascinating to see what happens. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to say.
It's hard to say, but I think what Kendrick did was incredibly brave.
I agree.
He didn't compromise his vision just to please
the masses.
The masses, yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I think it was a very bold statement.
It was. It was.
Yeah.
And the video also makes this point that Kendrick is the first hip-hop artist to solo headline the Super Bowl halftime show.
It's a huge moment.
It is. It's a huge moment.
Yeah.
And it's even more impactful because he didn't shy away from controversial material like Not Like Us.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't just there to entertain. He was there to make a statement.
Yeah, about artistic integrity, about cultural divides, about his own influence, you know.
And he did.
He really did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just a one-off statement either.
Yeah.
He wove this idea of the game throughout the entire performance.
You got it.
How do you see that theme playing out?
Well, it starts with that PlayStation controller stage. Right. And then you've got Samuel L. Jackson narrating, talking about Kendrick's gameplay. Right. You see it in the dancer's clothing.
Yeah.
Even that game over message at the end.
It's really clever.
It is.
How he ties it all together.
Yeah, it's like he's telling a story, but on multiple levels.
Exactly, you know? It's his personal journey, but it's also a commentary on the music industry.
Yes, and where he fits
in.
Yeah.
It's really smart.
It is. Very clever.
You know what, though? I keep thinking about those chains.
Oh, yeah,
Like, what's the deal with that?
The chains.
Yeah.
Why the chains?
Okay, so the lowercase a on Kendrick's chain.
Right.
Ted Lang logo.
Right.
The M on Mustard's chain, his initial. So they could be subtly spelling out AM for A minor.
Okay, yeah, I have to admit, when I first heard that there, I was like, that's a bit of a stretch.
Right.
But the more I think about it,
the
more it makes sense.
Yeah,
you know,
that's like, it wouldn't be out of character for Kendrick.
Yeah, not at all.
To hide those kinds of Easter eggs in his work.
Yeah, it's Kendrick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just shows, like, the level of detail and thought that went into this performance.
For sure.
It's pretty incredible.
It is, yeah.
But wait, there's one more thing we got to talk about.
Oh, what's that?
The set list was actually leaked before the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Okay, remember.
Yeah.
And the reason that DJ Akademiks gave for leaking it was even more surprising.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He thought the set list was bad.
He did, yeah.
Seriously, a set list with Not Like Us, Euphoria, bad.
It's so interesting, right?
I just don't get it.
I know.
Like, I don't follow his logic.
Yeah.
At all.
He said he wanted Kendrick to change it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That just goes to show, like, how subjective taste can be.
It really is.
You know, even within the industry.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what Akademiks saw as weak, a lot of people saw as groundbreaking.
That's so true.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this performance wasn't just a concert.
No, it was a cultural moment.
It was a cultural moment.
For sure.
It really pushed the boundaries of what a Super Bowl halftime show could be.
It did. It challenged expectations.
It did. It really did.
And it has everyone talking about what it means for the future of hip-hop.
Yeah, like, what does this mean for the genre? Where do we go from here?
Right. Big questions.
Big questions.
Yeah.
You know, will we see more artists embracing this kind of raw lyricism and artistic expression?
Right.
Or will the industry try and push them back into, like, that safe commercial box?
Right. Yeah. It's hard to say, but I think Kendrick has opened a door.
I think so, too.
And it's up to the next generation of artists to walk through it.
He showed that you can achieve mainstream success without sacrificing your artistic integrity.
I agree.
And that's pretty inspiring.
It is. It's very inspiring.
And it reminds us that hip-hop has always been about pushing boundaries. Challenging the status quo.
For sure.
Like, from its roots in the streets to its current status as, like, a global phenomenon.
It's constantly reinventing itself.
Right. The genre has never been afraid to evolve.
You're right.
And experiment.
Yeah.
The video also mentions how this performance might actually help to change some of the misconceptions that people have about hip-hop.
I think that's a great point.
Right, because hip-hop is often misunderstood and misrepresented in the media.
Absolutely.
But by showcasing, you know, its depth and complexity on a stage like the Super Bowl,
right,
Kendrick's helping to change the narrative.
He is. He is.
And hopefully it resonates with people who might not be familiar with this side of hip-hop.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it will.
You know, music has the power to, like, transcend boundaries and connect people from all walks of life.
I agree. I agree.
It's pretty powerful. You know, it's funny. We were talking earlier about how DJ Akademiks thought the set list was bad.
I know, right?
It just goes to show that, like, even within the industry, there are so many different perspectives on what makes good hip-hop, you know.
That is so true.
It's all subjective.
It's all subjective.
But I think we can all agree that Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime performance was a game changer.
It was a game changer. Oh, absolutely.
It was a moment that will be remembered and debated for years to come.
I agree. I agree.
It's left us with so much to think about.
It has. It has.
What does this mean for the future of hip-hop? What does it say about the power of artistic expression?
Right.
How will it influence the next generation of artists?
Great questions. Yeah.
These are all really important things to consider.
They are.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
If Kendrick can use the Super Bowl stage to deliver a message about cultural divides and artistic integrity, what other boundaries can be broken?
Right.
What other narratives can be challenged? And what will you do to push the boundaries of your own creativity?
That's an excellent question to consider.
It is.
Yeah.
This has been an incredible journey.
Right.
And I can't wait to see what the future holds for hip-hop and for all of us.
Me too.
Who are inspired by its power.
Yeah.
So until next time, keep diving deep and keep challenging the status quo.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny, you know, we've been talking about Kendrick and Drake and this whole rivalry thing.
Yeah.
But this performance wasn't just about that.
No, it was bigger than that.
It was about so much more.
Right.
What stood out to you about, like, the overall message? Like, beyond the diss tracks and the drama?
I think, I think Kendrick was making a statement about what it means to be, like, a true artist,
Yeah.
He wasn't afraid to be vulnerable, to share his struggles, to challenge those industry expectations.
Yeah.
He was in total control of his narrative, from the song choices to the staging to the smallest details.
Yeah. And that takes a lot of courage,
Totally.
especially on a stage as big as the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that's something other artists can learn from?
Absolutely. I mean, he showed that you don't have to compromise your vision to achieve success.
Right.
You can stay true to yourself and still connect with a massive audience.
And he did it all while pushing the boundaries of hip-hop,
He did
like a diss track at the Super Bowl. That's unheard of.
Right. It's like, what?
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
And it wasn't just any diss track. It was like a lyrical masterpiece.
Yes.
That sparked a national conversation.
It did. It really did.
It made people think about, like, the power of words, about the industry, about the role of hip-hop in society,
Yeah, I agree.
It's amazing how much impact, like, one performance can have.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, like, what's next for Kendrick? What's next for hip-hop?
Yeah, right. Like, what's next?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think Kendrick has opened up, like, a whole new world of possibilities. He showed that hip-hop can be more than just catchy beats and club bangers, It can be a powerful tool for social commentary, for personal expression, for artistic innovation.
Who knows? Maybe this will inspire, like, a whole new generation of artists to step up and challenge the status quo.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see more Super Bowl halftime shows that are as thought-provoking and groundbreaking.
That would be amazing.
As this one, right?
I think so.
I think so, too.
It'd be great for the genre.
It would be huge.
And music in general.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as we're wrapping up our deep dive into Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance,
okay,
I want to leave you with this. What did this performance make you think about?
Yeah.
What resonated with you?
Yeah.
And how can you take inspiration from Kendrick's artistry and apply it to your own life?
Those are great questions to reflect on, because ultimately I think the most powerful impact of a performance like this is how it makes us think, how it makes us feel, and how it inspires us to create our own art.
Whatever form that takes.
Whatever form that takes.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining me for this deep dive.
Thank you for having me.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of your own creativity.
Absolutely.